Yes, sir.
Very good. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Aaron Ford, and I am your Attorney General. I want to thank you all for being here. Throughout my time as Attorney General, I have continuously stressed the importance of protecting Nevada's consumers, especially in times like these when the cost of food, gas, and housing seems to be always increasing with no sign of stopping. It's vital that my office does whatever it can to ensure that Nevadans are not taken advantage of. That's why today I'm happy to say that earlier today, my office filed a lawsuit and entered into an agreement with Realpage, an organization that we'll talk about a little later, but regarding their business tactics that directly contribute to a lack of competition and restriction on free market benefits for Nevada renters. I'm happy that Realpage came to the table to actually settle this issue and agree to restrictions on this uncompetitive conduct. I'm also happy to announce that this is the very first settlement with Realpage in the nation. We're the first to settle these claims and to bring meaningful relief to the rental market here in our great state of Nevada. With this settlement, Realpage has agreed to significant practical limitations on its continued use of non-public data when calculating rent recommendations for its Nevada clients. Going forward, the non-public data will be aggregated and aged by at least 3 months. In addition, within 3 months, Realpage must contribute $200,000 to the state for use by organizations who can provide rent assistance and rent relief to low-income residents. Other states joined a federal Department of Justice litigation in a lawsuit against Realpage, and we've closely monitored that lawsuit as it makes its way through the legal system. Under the terms of Nevada's settlement, the outcome of any settlement from that particular lawsuit may lead to further relief for Nevadans as well. In addition, if any other settlement provides any settling plaintiff in that lawsuit with monetary relief that on a pro rata basis exceeds the amount of the contribution that Realpage has made to our state, then Realpage will make supplemental contributions to our state so that our settlement remains fair in relation to any of those other settlements. And that's going to be up to an additional $300,000. Going forward, Realpage will submit an annual attestation under the penalty of perjury and subject itself to investigations by my office to prove that their software operations are in fact in compliance with today's settlement. The company will also implement a comprehensive antitrust strategy that involves required training for many staff to ensure these requirements are being met. Ultimately, I believe that this settlement will do real things for Nevada residents. I want to thank my staff, one of whom is here with me right now, for the work they've done to help us realize this settlement and to ensure anyone that violates antitrust provisions in Nevada will be held accountable. And with that, we'll take a few questions. Thank you.
How did this investigation get started? Was there some sort of tips that people gave out to you directly, or how can some people do that in the future? Say they feel that they're being taken advantage of somehow. How do people get in contact with you and get the process going?
The question for those who couldn't hear was, how did this investigation get started, and how can, I'm paraphrasing, how can people who are aggrieved reach out to our office or get information to us? We have known about instances of Realpage allegations over the course of the last year or so, and directly reached out to Realpage to have conversations about the impacts of their practices here in Nevada. We did get complaints, and we do talk to other attorneys general. I convene frequently with attorneys general, my colleagues from all across the nation, Republicans and Democrats. We convene frequently to figure out the best ways to help our respective residents, and this conversation has come up during those convenings as well. And so again, I want to commend Realpage for actually coming to the table after our reach out to ascertain the best way forward. And I'm proud again of the work that my office has done to ensure that Nevada tenants are going to get the relief they deserve. To your second question about how people can reach out, you can always call my office. As you know, we are currently still in the midst of a cyber attack, and my office was not immune from those. We still have problems with our complaint system. You can't necessarily access it on our websites and things of that sort, but we're working diligently to get that up. But you can always come by the office and make phone calls, and we can ascertain the best ways to get complaint information from the public. Yes, sir.
You said you've been receiving complaints about Realpage for the past year or so. When did you open up and start taking a case against them and start that negotiation?
I would say that upon immediately receiving information about this, again, it's not just the complaints, it's the conversations that I've been having at the convenings of attorneys general all across the nation over the last year or so, where this was also brought up. We immediately began an internal investigation, internally to ascertain the applicability of those contentions right here in Nevada. And we found that there were, in fact, instances of Realpage acting here with its clients that are negatively affecting Nevada residents. And so we jumped on that immediately. I don't know if we want to designate a specific time as to when the actual investigation opened up, but I would say virtually immediately after hearing complaints about the company.
You mentioned the security breach. Did that impact your investigation into any of the activities with Realpage at all? Did that slow you down? Did it affect how you did things?
What I will say is that certainly, that data breach has had an impact and a negative effect on our operations in the office, but we've done yeoman's work to get around that. And again, kudos to my team for ensuring that we can keep this lawsuit on track and this settlement on track so that Nevadans can receive some resources that they need.
I think the last one that I have is what kind of message does this send to other businesses in the state, outside of the state, in regards to this kind of situation? Understand
this, if any company is defrauding Nevadans, under my administration, this Office of Attorney General will, without fair favor, take you on. And if we are able to ascertain that it's a violation of the law, we will go a step further and ensure that you are held accountable in those particular circumstances. And so this was no different. We certainly look forward to, again, working with Realpage to ensure that this relief is received soon and is doled out as quickly as possible to those who can utilize it. But this is a prime example of what my office does on a daily basis on the consumer protection side of things, standing up for Nevadans every single day. Last question here.
And on that, just to clarify, it's a business, but you can still go at it criminally, right? This is civil right now, but I mean, no business is immune from if there's criminal wrongdoing, right?
The question, I should have repeated your question as well, my apologies, but the question was, are there, paraphrasing, opportunities for criminal liability as well? Our statutes do have criminal liability provisions as well. This particular issue was a civil one, not criminal, and we have settled it by filing a civil lawsuit this morning, or maybe even this afternoon, followed by what we call a consent judgment, where Realpage has agreed to the allegations in our complaint, and with that agreement, has detailed things that they are going to do and not do on a going forward basis. And so, again, the message is loud and clear. Herein forward, your Attorney General will always stand up for consumers in the state. And any company or organization that is defrauding or negatively impacting our residents, I'm going to take on head on. With that, thanks so much, everybody, for coming out.